Hey guys, Resident Lynx here, and welcome to my movie review of Child's Play 3. And today I'm going to do an off the cuff review. No scripts, no anything. Just I hope you guys like this because sometimes I will lose track of what I'm talking about, and I apologize for that. But I'm going to try my best to stay on track and name all the characters I see in the movie, and not all the characters, but majority of them, and explain some stories that I have with these movies. This one, this one is special too because I grew up with this movie. I watched Bride of Chucky first, and then I watched this one second. So what happened was when I was a little kid, I went to the movie store back when movie stores were actually still open and still like around because you barely see them anymore. Actually, if any, I did see some I think a few years ago, but they're probably gone by now. But I was a little kid. I walked down with a note in my hand saying that I could buy a horror movie, a radar movie. And I walk into the video store and I see Child's Play 3, and this is before I watched 1 and 2, I think. I don't think I watched 1 and 2 beforehand. I think I watched them after. I'm like, oh, that seems pretty interesting because I seen Chucky with like this mean look on his face. And I'm like, well, I watched the fourth one first. Maybe I'll go. I don't know what I was thinking. But I pick it up. I go to the front cashier, and the person with a little girl. I'm like, okay, that's weird, because I think at the time her dad was in the back or something like that. So I was like, oh, I have this note here. So my mom said I can get this movie. She ended up giving it to me. I don't know. I think it was either her or her dad. I don't fucking know. So it was a long time ago. So I walk home from the movie store. I had the movie. I put it in. This is back in the VHS days because there was no DVDs then. Well, there probably was, but they're very, very little DVDs. So, and then I watched it till the very end, and then the Chucky scene where Chucky gets split in multiple pieces, and I was eating this pizza. I was kind of feel like, ugh. And the pizza wasn't even that good either. It was like shit pizza. So, I mean, it was still a good experience. It wasn't the first horror movie I watched, and probably and it's definitely not my last horror movie I watched, but it was still nostalgia for what it was worth. So that's my little story about this movie. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down the plot for you guys, and then I'm gonna go to my mixed aspect. Oh no, then I'm gonna go to my likes and my mixed and my dislikes about this movie. So the plot is that Chucky's back. He returns, obviously. I mean, these movies are about Chucky. So, and it's weird because they bring him back with like, I don't know why, like 10 years or so many years later, the factory is all shut down. But some reason they restarted, and Chucky's still the same exact way he was in the second movie, which is pretty interesting. I think that's pretty cool. That's a cool little detail that they put in the movie. And they pick him up with the claw, and then blood comes into this like big vat of like some kind of wax, or some kind of plastic. It's probably plastic, and Chucky ends up getting reborn out of this plastic. And the funny thing is that I also heard that in this movie, because if they had more of a budget and more of money, they probably would have made multiple Chuckies like they did in the newer ones, which is pretty interesting. That's what I heard from some sources, but they didn't do that because they didn't have the money to do that. So Chucky ends up like killing the old man from the second movie, which is pretty interesting because they actually bring him back in this movie, but he ends up keeping Chucky, which is not good. Chucky always gets the last laugh, I guess. So he ends up killing him, and like Chucky's one-liner here, he goes, "Don't fuck with the Chuck."
Don't with it, Chuck. Oh, God.
And he goes, "Where are you, you little shit?" when he's on the computer trying to find Andy.
Get out of this goddamn body. Where are you, you little shit?
So he ends up finding Andy. He's at like a military camp. This is like so many years later. I don't know how many years exactly in the movie time. I know it's only 1 year after the second movie came out. But I think probably around like maybe 8 years after. I don't know how many years later this is supposed to be set up. So he finds Andy, goes to the military camp, and then Tyler ends up opening. But Tyler's this little kid in the military camp, and he's like, "Oh, a good guy doll. Yeah." And then Chucky goes, "Ah." He's like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Who the fuck are you?
I thought you guys only said 3 sentences.
I'm new and improved.
And he's like, "I thought good guy dolls only had so much, to talk about." He's like, "I'm new and improved." I love Chucky in this. I love Brad Dourif. He does a really good job in this movie. But Tyler ends up being friends with him, and Chucky's like, "Wait a minute, not friends, but like, wait a minute, I can transfer my soul into this new kid because I have a new body." So he ends up trying to transfer his soul in the very first scene that he meets Tyler, but of course he gets, again, some people come in and ruin it for him. And it's like, it's not that bad of a movie. There's more into it. Andy's more of like a person to actually help Tyler. Is more of a mentor in this movie. Like he wasn't. He was more of like a victim in the first one, and more of like a person that had to stand up for himself in the second one. This one, he's more of a mentor because he knows what Chucky can do, and he tries to help Tyler. I love the Siler. I love Desilda in this. She's really good looking. Well, she's not really good looking, but she's pretty. She's really good at standing up for herself.
Shit!
You asshole.
What did you say?
I said you asshole, sir!
She's strong-willed, and I like the little bit of a thing that they have, Andy and her, and I like how she helps Andy with a gun in one scene. I like her dynamic with Andy. I like Andy's dynamic with Tyler, even though Tyler's one of my least favorite characters. I like Whitehurst in this movie. He sacrifices himself towards the end. I like Chucky. He tries, before they end up like going off to the shooting, like this like shooting thing with like paintballs. He ends up putting like a whole bunch of clips of actual bullets and a gun. So they end up like shooting each other, but only like one person ends up dying, which is Sheldon. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The kills are okay in this movie. I don't know exactly how many kills. There's probably multiple kills in this movie. I had them all written down on like a thing. But basically what happens is that Chucky ends up trying to put his soul into Tyler multiple times. It doesn't work, so he ends up killing multiple people. And Andy keeps on trying to take Chucky from Sheldon because Sheldon keeps on taking it from, or he took him from him once. He's like, "Oh, my daughter will love this doll." And he goes, No, don't. So, and then they end up going off into, like I said, the paintball thing, even though it's really not paintball, some of them are. So, and then at the very end, they're at this like fair, or some kind of like, I would say probably like a fair, and it's okay. It's okay for the last ending of the plot. They could have done a little bit better, I think, with the ending. Nothing's gonna top the ending of Child's Play 2, but I do like the end when Chucky ends up dying in this. That's my favorite kill of Chucky. Chucky ends up going into this like fun ride and getting this half his face split. And that's a pretty cool visual. And because the scythe ends up coming down and like slicing his half his face off, you can see some of his like tendons and stuff like that. It's gross, but I think that's pretty interesting. At the end, you don't know exactly what's going to happen because Andy gets taken away and De Silva ends up. I don't know what happens to De Silva because she doesn't come back in any of the movies, but it's a pretty decent movie. I'm going to go to my positives first. The kills are great. Some of them, not all of them are great, I should say, but a lot of them are. I really like this throat slit of the guy, the barber. I like the trash compactor guy. Oh man, that sucks. Imagine going to work and having that happen to you. Oh man, that's gross. You don't see it, but you hear crunch and stuff like that. I like the actors. I don't mind the guy that plays Andy in this movie, Justin Whalen. I think he does a pretty good job as a grown-up Andy, and for not having that much acting credit before and after this. But I mean, look at Andy back when he was a little kid. The guy that played him, Alex Vincent, he didn't have much acting credit either. Actually, I think that Child's Play was his first movie he actually did. And he really didn't act after that. You can tell from the newest ones. But come on now, he hasn't acted in years. But I like De Silva. I think she's a pretty good love interest in this. You don't see any of these actors after this movie, which kind of bums me out a little bit. Because they were good, except for Chucky, obviously. Chucky's always good. Brad Dourif always does a good job as Chucky. I like the military setting. I mean, I think it's not as good as the first movie, but the military setting is a good change of pace for what they did. I'm going to go to my mixed aspects. I don't think I have any mixed aspects, actually. I'm trying to think of one mixed aspect. I don't know if I have any. My negatives, though, one of the kills, actually, there's one kill that I don't like. Which is the one where Chucky ends up like scaring this old man and giving him a heart attack. I mean, Chucky is like, "Are you freaking kidding me right now?"
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
And he has like lipstick on him because his women friggin' put lipstick on him. And that's my least favorite of the movie. It's just that one kill that's could have been better. But all in all, it was a pretty decent movie. I'd probably have to give a 3 stars out of 5. I would say probably check it out if you guys haven't watched Chucky, Child's Play 3, or any of the Chucky movies. Binge watch all of them because I have all of them. But check this movie out. I recommend it. It's good for its time. You can tell it's made from the 90s. But anyway, guys, this is basically my review on Child's Play 3. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you guys like this new off-the-cuff review. The problem is that I love these movies and I have them like in the back of my head. So I'm thinking maybe I can actually talk about these movies without looking them up or watching them. But I think I'm going to have to do that for now on because I'm missing a lot of pieces and I'm trying to remember a lot of them. But this is my review on Child's Play 3 at least. And maybe I'll make a new one soon. I don't know. But thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. See you guys next time. Bye.